So I'm gonna start a backtesting session of today's action. So let's go right into it. I'm gonna hit replay at the 7 a.m. bar on the 1 hour chart. And we're gonna start from there. I have some markings already made. Some of the trades I took, and the idea would be to see how the performance was, and if it was right to take those, see if it was right, or the best way to manage those. So that's basically the whole idea. Let's see how it goes. So here we are around 7 a.m. So this is pre-market. Let's just see how it went. I'm gonna start looking for trades after market open. So just let's see how it developed and to take a look at the markings that we have on our context and validation timeframes. So we're at 7:15. So at that time, we can see that from the previous action from the previous day, we had a bullish reaction actually that started yesterday, actually around 7 a.m. and throughout the whole session and throughout yesterday and tonight. Yesterday's night we had this bullish move. Then we had some, and we actually started building a cycle on the 1 hour time frame, which is our C2. And in this case we had an accumulation right here on the 1 hour, which was validated right here around midnight, and then it went above and traded there yesterday, today in the morning, early in the morning. Then we had a flush that created an MMB1, and this is actually where we are right now at the 20 MA on our C2 time frame. And from there, actually what we could be looking for is a bullish reaction from here to continue the bullish move. If we take a look at our validation time frame here, what we had.
So just in regards to the executive orders that Trump will be signing today, Trump hit
voice news disconnected.
Okay. So from there, on our validation time frame, we had this consolidation here right before market open. Actually, not much there, as price was just right at the EMAs, and our actually this is our context time frame. We used to actually, just to make that clear. So on our context time frame, which is the 10-minute, we are right at the EMAs, and on our validation time frame, which is the 1 minute, we had some sort of accumulation right here, and then we had a move that seems to be kind of MMB1, right, which was built right at market open. So this is actually where we are right now. Let's keep on playing this. So we had a strong bearish move right from the open. Nothing to do for us, as we were actually waiting for a bullish reaction, so this is just waiting. Price was on the context time frame again right at the EMAs, so we're just trying to see what this will how this will develop. So then what I have marked here is some sort of accumulation on our validation time frame, and from there this can be seen as an MMB1. Let's see if this develops as we would like to. At that time this was our MMB1, and this is actually the reaction that it created. So this would be our containment line right here. We were getting here down to through the 5 to 10 MAs, no entry at all. Then we are here approaching the 20. This could be seen as sort of an entry opportunity for us, even though the context time frame is not the best. In this case we are getting back to the EMAs, which are kind of going sideways. So this could be an entry, but not actually the best. Let's see if an entry was given. Okay, here we have what could be an entry. This is MMB1, and this is MMB2. So we could be looking for a buy there from that buy stop of MMB2. Let's see. This would be one contract, and we are looking for a 1, 2, 3. That's the way. That's our setup. Let's see if this gets triggered or not. And in this case, there's no entry, and that's it. So no setup for us in this case. So on our validation, we are going below the EMA, so that means we have to wait. And again, on our context time frame, we are right at the EMA, so it's not a very clear scenario. So let's wait to see how the session develops. Sideways there. So in 1 minute we're going down, so you can see that actually I'm gonna pause this for a minute. As I marked this on the live session, and when I saw that price was aggressively going to the bearish side on our context time frame, and even on our C2 time frame, on the 1 hour, we can see the price is going below the EMAs. So this for me kind of a sign that we could be turning to the bearish side. So what I did was actually I flipped the charts. I'm used to find the setups this way, so when it's bearish I flip the charts, and in this case what I saw that was that through this impulsive bearish move, there was some sort of distribution created on the context time frame, and actually a nice move and a nice cycle on the validation time frame. We had here some sort of distribution here. Then we had a clear MMB1, which went to the 20 MA and had a reaction from there. Then we had a flush for an MMB2 that actually again went to the 20 EMAs and got a nice reaction from there. The reason that any of these opportunities were even considered was that at that point the cycle had just started and we were coming from below the EMAs on our context time frame, so this was actually no chance for us to take a setup. Then as this move came, now we were seeing a clear bearish move and the build-up of MMB3, which is what we see right here. And I'm not sure, I believe maybe this could be a trade that I took. I'm gonna take a look at the list of trades I took this morning. We're on the 24th. First trade was at 8:16. Yeah, actually this is a trade that I took. So let's take a look at it. We had this containment line right here and MB1 and MMB2 right here. So this was a setup for me for a buy stop through the double MB. One contract again, and this is the trade that I took. This is how it started. It went into some drawdown, came to the entry point again, went back to drawdown, and from there it had a nice reaction, what we were expecting. But for me at this point, this was a break-even trade. I had an impulsive move to the downside, and I was not expecting price to come back. So at this time, this was a trade that had run up to 1.2 RR, but as you can see, in this case, I had it already marked, this came back to break even. So this was the first trade for me this morning, and this was a break even trade. So let's continue. From there price went flushed right to the 20. This could be seen as an opportunity. Not quite the move that I like when it's just one strong candle. I don't like such a strong move on the flush. I prefer when it's kind of smooth and the candles move smoothly to either the 10 or the 20 EMAs, which are my trigger lines to start looking for a possible trade on the entry time frame. So in this case, this was not actually a move that I would have played. As you can see, this would have been the entry line here. We had a double MB, but price was below the EMA, so no entry for me. And if I consider this one as a possible opportunity for a trade, let's see if it develops, but again, this is not a setup that I would take. So in this case, it goes under, came and activated the trade in case I would have taken that. But from there, let's see. Yeah, it went back and would have taken me out. Here I would have had no chance to break even. So that's the reason why I do not like these sort of setups. So let's clear this up and keep on revising this trade here. As you can see on our validation, we had some sort of consolidation, so I was just waiting to see how it goes from there. And actually the price goes, I believe, yeah, below the EMAs, as you can see. So now again we're not on the bearish side, but as you can see, due to the aggressive bearish move, I was willing to wait to see if bearishness starts to come back again. This would mean, if this would have been the move, this would be at the distribution, this would have been MMB1, and we would expect a reaction from price from here to go above the EMAs. So we're waiting for that. That's not happening. Price coming below. This would be kind of the last chance to see if there's a reaction from here, which would be the 20 MA on the context, but it goes below. So as you can see, we're going below. Here we see on the C2 time frame the price going back to the EMAs. So we're not sure what price wants to do from here. So that's what we have. At that point, to be honest, as I saw again the move aggressive to the upside, I flipped again. That's why I have these markings here. So let's do that. Yeah, and this is what I saw. Why was it that I did that? Because the expectation for me from the beginning of the session was to see bullishness to come in. So I changed that, as you saw, due to the bearish move that came for some time. But as we had a strong reversal and a strong bullish move, and due to the C2 context, I was willing to see any chance of bullishness to come in and any opportunity for us. So here we had the buildup of a cycle. This was kind of an accumulation, MB, as you can see, followed by MMB1, MMB2, MMB3, and maybe here by the time it comes to MMB4, this could have been an opportunity for us. But due to the fact that this is MMB4, which could be already extended, that's maybe a reason just to wait to see if this would kind of flush further, and from there start to consolidate, building some sort of stage 1 and then into stage 2. So that's the idea. That would be the idea there. Yeah. So here, no trades for me. Let's see here. So just to be fair and take a look here, just see if we would have had any sort of opportunity from there. This would have been our containment line. At this time here, price came back to the 20. this could have been MMB1, MMB2, but no entry at all right here, and price comes below. So we had to adjust our containment line this way, and from there you could argue this could have been an entry, but as I mentioned, that is not something that I took. Well, let's see. Yeah, price would have gone up. This would have been a break even for me, and then came down. So just let's see in terms of RR how this would have developed. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm taking this the wrong way. This is a buy. So that's the right way. On one contract, this would have been our risk, and from there, this would have moved up to 1.1 RR, and then came back to break even. So actually, nothing I took due to the reasons I already explained, but it would have been a break even anyway. So let's continue here. So at this point, as I said, this is a market I would have stayed out for a bit just to see how it goes from there. Our expectation would be that after and before this would fail. And this is actually what happens here. Price goes below the EMAs, starts creating a consolidation, a stage 1 on the validation time frame. I marked this high here for the validation of this accumulation. Then price goes up, and this can be somehow seen as an MMB1. Let's mark this way. So this is MMB1 at that time. Just take a look at our other time frames. At this time on our C2, price was above the EMAs, and on our context time frame on the 10 minutes, price was again above the EMAs on rising EMAs. So it was okay for us to consider this trade here. So just let's take a look. This would happen. Our containment line price would have at this point went just below the 10 EMA, and then created MB1, MMB2, but this took a little bit longer, so not the best setup. Let's see. And then goes down, so actually no entry for us right here. So let's clear this, and let's continue to see what is gonna happen. So on the context time frame, price goes to the 20 and below, on our validation time frame, as well. Price goes below the EMAs. So this is a kind of a key moment for us here to see if price is gonna continue to the downside, going below the EMAs on the C2, on the C1 as well, going down, and yeah, there were actually some, let's see, there was actually some trade that I took here. So on the, let's take a look. It says this was at 9:55, so let's take a look. Where was it? I believe it's, no, 9:55. Seems that I took something here. Actually, the one that we were talking about, but let's see how I took that. It says that my entry was at 9:55, 45. Right there. Oh, I think I can see that. Yeah, take a look here. This is actually the same containment line that I drew just a few moments before. This was MMB1, and this one here for me was MMB2. The thing here is that, well, I saw that price was going up with a strong move. I was expecting for price to go over this daily high. Price went to the 20 on MMB1 on our validation, so I was hoping to get that trade, but actually here we had MMB2 was actually below the EMAs, as you can see. So it was not the best setup for me, when actually what I try to look for is that the buy stop of MMB2 is above rising EMAs, which is not this case here. Let's see how I managed. This was until 9:58:15. 9:58:15. So I entered this trade. It went a little bit above, then it went to drawdown, actually a little bit more than 50% drawdown, which is a rule that I have, that when this happens I usually put my stop loss to break even, so it's either a -1 for me or a break even. But in this case, as you can see, this happened here, but I did not take the break even. I let the trade run. Let's make it a little bit larger here to see the action on the V. So it comes up again. This is where I had my stop loss mark, but it's, as you can see, it's below the EMA, so this would have been completely invalidated if price came down here. From this point, again, as I said, I did not take the break even. Price went down, and from there it came up. I actually should have waited for price to stop me out at break even, but honestly I was expecting this to go down, which actually happened here, as you can see. So as soon as my loss wasn't that big, I manually exited the trade, and it took me out for a $50 loss. So again, was not the best trade in terms of the entry due to price being below the EMAs at that time, and the management again was not the best. I should have gone out here, and I didn't, and actually that would have saved me 50 bucks in this case. So this is a trade again that I took. So this would have been around a minus 0.3 R, around that for me. Should have been a break even again, but well, this is what it actually happened. So let's continue. So from there again, we saw that price went down, and from here, as I saw again price going aggressively below the EMAs, I flipped the charts again. So this cycles to start building. I have price on the context time frame. It built distribution, price comes up, creates what could be seen as, let's see if it forms an MMB1, and on our validation we have distribution, then we have MMB1 is around 10.11. This is actually a trade I took. Let's take a look at it. 10, yeah, I believe around here, yeah. So let's take a look at this. So this is the containment line that we have on our entry time frame. At that time, price flushes to the 10. Actually, this is the 10 EMA on the validation, and from there we had MMB1. And MMB2, and our entry was the buy stop of MMB2. In this case, this is a setup that I like when price is above the containment line and above rising EMAs. This was the case, and basically price comes up, stays there, it comes to my entry point, and I believe that let's take a look, 10, 12, 35, 10, 12, 35. So in this case, I took a quick win here around a plus 0.3R. To be honest, just trying to get back to break even after that small loss on the previous trade. So this was actually not a good point to take profit based on my system. This is what happened in reality, but this was not what should have happened. In this case, I should have let the trade run just like this, get back below my entry point, then we had a reaction from there, then we had kind of a move up, and after this point it's probably that I would have moved my stop loss to break even, and then as you can see, price then gets back to break even. It moved up to 1.2 R before coming back to break even, but well, this is actually what would have happened if I would have managed the trade the way I have defined based on my system. So this is actually, yeah, that's the third trade this morning. So let's continue. 10:30 is the next one. So here, well, price would have kicked me out at break even, then would have come under right here, and actually this would have been a trade I would have been looking at the time, but as price goes below the EMAs, this would have been a no-go for me. So that's why there are no trades for me right there. So from there we had some sort of you could argue some sort of stage one here, but as price went under the EMAs and then right back in through the EMAs and above, I consider this as part of MMB1. So this is why I have up here marked as MMB2, because I don't consider this was a stage 1 into 2, more just a flush and a reaction from there, even though price went a little bit below the EMAs, but right back up. So this was MMB2. And from there we had this build up. We have this containment line, and let's see, yeah, let's do this. I'm not sure why. Just 1 minute. Okay. Yeah. So as price flushes through MMB2, comes to the 10 right here, and we have MMB1. Let's take a look. And maybe here, I believe this was MMB2. Yeah, I remember that there was some slippage there because my buy stop was around here, but this is actually the price that I got. And let's see when I got out, 10:30 to 25. Yeah, right here. So I got slipped. Price comes here, taps me in, comes up, then comes back down to retest the 10 EMA, and from there again price goes below the 50%, goes below a 50% drawdown. And I got out here for a plus 0.15 over. So this was just a minor, tiny win. But basically a break-even trade for me, as I saw that it did not work the way that I was expecting, and as price had the chance to come back to the 20, I was then best suited to get out. So let's see what happened from there. Yeah, price went back down, would not have taken me out, but then would have come back to entry, so this would again probably be a break-even trade for me. And from there it went below the EMAs. So just let me do something like this, as I am seeing that the text is showing on the 1 hour time frame, and I don't want it to show there. This is gonna just be on the seconds. This was the break-even trade. Yeah. So far into the day, we have taken 4 trades. The first one was a break-even, then a minor loss, a minor win, and a tiny win. That's basically what we have had so far. So let's continue looking here. On the C time frame, price is again at the EMAs. We are expecting this to go above the EMAs. If this is MMB1, let's see what happens. The price goes, at least for now, below the EMAs on the context and much more below. So again, at this point, as you can see, this was really back and forth price action today. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time that I move from bearish to bullish, and from bearish, and then here again I'm gonna flip the charts to go to bullish. So this is not ideal, but I try to accommodate to the price action that I saw. So at this time on the context, we have now priced well above the EMAs. We had here some sort of stage 1, and this accumulation was validated through this candle here, which closed above this accumulation line. At this time, I have this marked as MMB1. We have to see if this actually develops or not. And on the validation time frame, we had an accumulation MB, then we had an MMB1, and at this time here, we can see the buildup of an MMB2, which we're gonna be following to see if there's any opportunity for us to take a trade there. 30, this is over. Okay, I believe there's one trade that I took here, so we're gonna study that. Let's mark it together. So at the time this price action was occurring, this was the containment line that we had. Price came back here, flushing to the 20 EMA, and then we had the buildup of a double MB, which could be right here, some sort of, let's see the time, 11:18:30. Yeah, that's actually the trade. So in this case, again, my expectancy was to see price continue to the bullish side based on the context on our C2. And yeah, that's basically what I was expecting. So let me draw this. I'm not sure. I believe this was already drawn, but I'm not sure why. Ah, it's showing up here. Let's see. Okay, no, that's wrong. Just okay, there it is. Yeah, that's, I had it already drawn. I don't know why it wasn't showing up. This is the trade that I took. Again, price comes and flushes through MMB2, comes to the 10, builds double MB here, and I had a buy stop through MMB2, and this is the candle that actually tapped me in. At that time, just let me take a look at this. Yeah, this was one contract that I had. My stop was just below this week here. So this is basically the setup that I had. As you can see, I was stepped in, price went in drawdown, came back over just for a moment, again in drawdown, again over for a moment, drawdown, and let's see again how this continues. A lot of back and forth. At this point, this goes again in drawdown, more than 50%. And my point here is that, well, let's see how it develops, and then I'm gonna just comment on this. This is the price action that I experienced at that time. Yeah, just like that. So this was a loss for me, so I'm gonna just put it here. This was a loss. And what I want to point out here was that I had the chance to close as a break-even trade. That's part of my rules. Here we had the price that came under, or I mean that went over a 50% drawdown, and then I had the chance to have closed as break-even there. I'm sorry. Let's do it back. Give me just one moment. back. I think it's coming back. Okay. So I had the chance to close at break even at this point. It's too big. At this point, and then again this goes back and comes back to break even, and then again here. So at least I had 3 opportunities to close at break even, but I decided to let the trade run, to let the trade open, even though I saw this much consolidation, this much back and forth. And what happened is that after this point, price never came back to entry point and went just straight to my stop loss. And in this case, it was kind of a possibility, as we had entered the trade of the 10 EMA and we had space here for price to go and test the 20. In this case, we had no reaction from the 20, just price went through the 20. But the main thing here is that in terms of management, this was not managed okay by me. The setup was clear. In this case, we had entry price above the EMAs, you could argue above rising EMAs, above the containment line, so entry was okay. But after seeing this so much back and forth, there's actually no excuse for me to have taken a loss here when I had at least again 3 opportunities to have a break-even trade. So this is just something that I wanted to point out in terms of the rules that you have. There's a reason those rules are there. So in this case, this is something that should have happened. So let's continue. At this point, we have price goes under the EMAs, and actually the next thing I'm gonna show you is a big mistake that I made today, and I want this to be recorded. Just a reminder for myself of the importance to respect your rules. There's a reason there are rules, there's a reason you have a system, and if you go and try random things, well, the results are not going to be the best. So what I did here is that I saw this containment line. This was again totally out of any good setup, because price, as you can see, went well below the EMAs. But I did not make I did not follow my rules in this case, seeing that, and what I did was that I went, and as I saw price goes above the containment line, and I had, you could argue, double MB, could argue, yeah, maybe here, double MB, I went and got in. This was not okay, and I knew that, but I was stubborn and I actually went in. I don't really know why, but I went in. So at that time, that was the trade. Management was not okay. Again, let's see what I mean. Even though the setup was not okay, it was not managed okay. This is the same thing as before. We have a considerable drawdown on a setup that was not actually valid, and I had the chance to break even here, but I didn't. So I did not break even here, and from there price just went, let's see, when was this close? At 11:28:24. So what happened here? Oh no, 11:28. Oh, there's something wrong here. It's 11:50:23. 11. Oh no, now I remember what I did. Okay, again, the entry was not okay, the setup was not there. I took the trade. I did not break even here when I had the chance, and I let this trade run. And as you can see there, it just went down big for a big drawdown. And what I decided to do at that point, out of desperation, you could argue, is that I averaged down just in hopes to basically get out at break even. So this is my original entry point, and then I took a new trade here on the same side. So basically my break-even point went to this line, this red line that I have pointed out there again. This is something that I wanted to be here on this video, because this is something that is not the way that I would like to continue my trading. This is not in accordance to my system. So kind of embarrassing and kind of ashamed of that, but I would like to be 100% honest with myself, because this is not the way this is gonna work for me. So at this point I did that. Again, why did I do that? Because I saw this, basically this double MB here, which again wasn't supported by the validation time frame. I just was basically in hopes of a reaction from here based on the context time frame. At this time we had price on MMB1 that flushed to the 10 EMA, and from there we had this reaction. So it had some kind of sense to have done this. It was not pure randomness, but it was not totally in alignment with my system. In this case, what I always have to look is for a flush that comes to the 10 or 20, or at the most a little bit under, but in this case it was evident that price went under, and even though I decided to do that just because of this one only reason here. In this case, that went sort of okay for me. This price went to this break-even point, and I actually didn't break even, which was the chance right here. I let the trade run to see just if I could recover from my previous loss, the one that we saw a few minutes ago. So I was at break even, then went again on drawdown, again into some profit, again into drawdown, and from there it hit my take profit, which was kind of just a small amount to cover my previous loss, and basically to had the account at break even. So basically these two trades were not okay. Again, just to be honest, the first one was okay in terms of the setup, but I should have closed at break even. So I had plenty of opportunity to have saved me this -1, but I didn't, and because of that I then got into actually these two trades here. Let's see. Yeah. Into these two trades here, which none of which were valid because price was below the EMAs. I'm gonna stop just for a moment. Okay, now it should be going. I'm not sure if it recorded or not, but I believe this is still going. So these two trades were not valid. That's basically what I want to emphasize, and to have this as a reminder for me to basically stay out of this sort of mistakes, which are not excusable at all. So from there, let me just take a look at the time. Yeah, I think these were actually my trades today. No more we're taking. So at this time, 11:50, this is what was given to me, a session with a lot of back and forth. No true opportunity was given here that could have led to a win with actually the RR that I normally look for, which is 1 to 3. So basically that's it. The main goal is to be accountable to myself, and well, that's it for now. I'm gonna take a look at the other part of the session from here past 12 a.m. but I'm gonna do this a little bit later. So thank you.